We are definitely getting a copyright strike tonight because I just know it. Because I shot a video like about 14 years ago at a concert, and it was Machine Head covering Iron Maiden, and all the revenue, I think, was going to Iron Maiden, or I was sharing, I don't know. But I know we're going to get hit, so I didn't cut up that intro too much. This request comes from subscriber Mark that requested a Peace of Mind Iron Maiden tone, and one of my favorite songs off that album is Flight of Icarus. And I figured it'd be a cool song to learn. I've never tried to learn many Iron Maiden songs, and it took me a couple days, but it finally kind of clicked the other day. And I don't know why I was having such a hard time with it, but anyway, let's get to it. Starting out with a clean slate, the sterile tone as I like to call it. This one was kind of difficult to dial in because you got Adrian Smith and David Murray's two different, slightly different tones, and I kind of had to decipher which was which and which one I was going to go for, and I think I'm doing Adrian Smith's. I don't know, but I hope I got this tone down pretty good. I hope it sounded good in the mix, and I hope you enjoy it, so let's get to it. Right on the chain, we're going down to chain 3-2. I know you don't often see me using these chains down here, but I wanted to put a booster in front of the distortion, and I wanted to put an EQ after the distortion before the amp. So that's what I did, and I'll show all that to you in just a second. Up here, we're using the Crunch amp on variation, and we're dialing back our gain just a little bit to 47, and we're going to bump our volume up to about 74-ish. You got to adjust that at home. Now, on the bass, I've got the bass at, let's see, I got it at 67. The mid's at 73. I'm sorry, 73. And 67 on the treble. Over in our presence, we're using the vintage cabinet, and we've got that set at about 68, 69-ish. Moving on to the booster, we're going to use the Governor DS, because mixed with that Crunch amp, it kind of gives you a Marshall-y sound, and those guys kind of used Marshall 2000s, DSLs. So this is our tone right now. Let's dial the drive back to about 27. We don't need a whole lot of drive on this. 27, we got a tone at 3 and our bottom at 8. Effects level at 41, and we do have a little direct mix in here. And this kind of helps give you a clean signal and the distorted signal. Well, not the clean signal. You're still getting some gain from the crunch, but it takes that crunch signal, your dry signal if you want to call it, and then your booster signal, and puts them side by side in a mix. And so we're getting about 30% of the dry mix in there. So let's hear it now. Still got some work to go. Now for the mod, I just used a Boss compressor. I just used the first one I had on there, and I had the level at 44, the tone up to 10, but you can dial that back if you need to. The attack at 55, and I mainly have this compressor on here just for sustain, so I got the sustain just bumped up just a little bit, and it actually boosts the signal too. Going over to our effects. Now, I have these already set up because I didn't want to have to go through them. So if you want to pause this, go for it. This is an effects. This is the EQ going before the amp. So I'm kind of EQing the guitar. So you can see all these settings here. Set them up on your own or just download the patch. Either way. Let's see how we sound with them on. It's a subtle difference, but there's a difference. Next up, I do have a delay, and I just have a simple analog delay. Nothing special. I got the delay time at 191. And the feedback at 11. We're just adding just a subtle delay on here. I left the high cut flat, and I got the effects level down to 21, and the direct mix at 100. So just a little bit, just to kind of help layer it just a hair. We don't have any kind of reverb on this. But next up, we've got a parametric EQ going out, and I've already got that set up as well. 4 decibels. Usually I have that one at about 7, and I just had to pull it back a little bit. There was too much in there, and I had to boost the low mid gains to +2, and these are my typical settings over here. Over here I got the typical setting 1.6, and I've got to mid gain at +2, the high gain at +2, but I've got the high cut dialed back a little bit because you don't need all that edge in this tone, and the levels at 2. So let's turn that on. Makes a huge difference. Now, the next EQ, this is going out, is a graphic equalizer going out, and I've got that one all set up, but this is totally optional because this is so subtle, you're not going to hear a huge difference here either. It takes a little bit of the edge off. Dials in some more mids and lows. And lastly, we do have a noise suppressor on here. I already got it set to 50. And we're pretty much all dialed in. We have no tone shape on here. I did have a contour on there, but I dialed it off. I mean, we can check it out with it on. I think I had it set at 1 and 2, and with the frequency up to about 18. Let's hear it with it off. It doesn't sound bad either way, but it sounds more organic and authentic to the sound. By the way, I'm not even playing that part right. It's a little bit different. It's more like this. But during the playthrough, it was just easy for me just to use power chords. That wraps it up. Let's hear it a little bit more in the mix, and then we'll close it out. That's going to wrap things up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can use this tone. As always, it'll be at the Boss Tone Exchange. You can download it in the link below. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe and you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and maybe even hit that little bell and find out when I'm posting something else. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.